This week on the Postcall Podcast, it's Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving, Emmy. We're going to do a show all about Thanksgiving and Black Friday. How excited are you?
Yay, Thanksgiving. Yeah. Are you going to have turkey this year?
Yes, I'm going to have turkey. When I was a kid, obviously Christmas was the one. But now, as I grow older, Thanksgiving is the one. It's because there's no expectations. You just show up and whatever you have, you give, and you're thankful, and you just try to eat as much as you can without dying, and then you just watch football with the people that you love.
Yeah. And then you have leftovers for like 3 days.
For 3 days.
I love leftover stuffing and turkey sandwiches.
The sandwiches.
With cranberry sauce.
It's about the sandwiches. It really is all about the sandwiches. And you got football. Like, I grew up a Detroit fan, and I don't know if you knew this, they're awful, but the only time that they were on TV before all these services and streaming and crap was on Thanksgiving. So I get to watch them at 10:30 in the morning, Mountain Time, and then we would go eat. Because had a big family, we would eat at like 1 p.m., and then by the time that like the Merry Christmas Charlie Brown special came on, it was time for leftovers. 2 Thanksgivings. It was amazing.
Yeah.
But not everybody.
Charlie Brown, yeah.
Yeah, right. Is this about that? Is there, obviously you guys should have a Thanksgiving holiday in Cambodia, right?
Yeah, there's not. I don't know if I've seen a turkey here.
Yeah, I'm sure that somewhere on that neck of the woods there are probably some wild fowl, but I don't know about turkeys.
Yeah. Ducks, chicken stuff. Yeah, sure.
Close enough. Yeah, the hipsters eat that kind of thing for Thanksgiving.
Yeah,
anyway.
why not?
So, not everybody gets to spend Thanksgiving with their friends and family. Those in training, those in hospitals, you got to work. Life goes on. So this episode is for you. It's also for anybody out there that just wants to kind of get in the healthcare mood. We're going to talk about 20 codes. That's right, codes that could be useful for Thanksgiving. We're also going to get into best gifts for doctor, and Emmy will give us a thumbs up or thumbs down if that is true. And we're going to talk about a workout that you can do in the hospital. This is serious. This is actual literature. I'm not laughing at the work, but if you get to see the pictures and hear the description, it's pretty funny. So we're going to talk about that as well. But we're going to start today about something to be thankful for, the cliche tradition. You go around the table and you say what you're thankful for. Emmy, I am thankful that I'm gonna pat myself on the back. I'm thankful that I was able to convince you to come on and be my co-host.
Oh, Nick, come on. And something else. What are you thankful for?
What I'm actually thankful
life?
for, honestly, like in a very humble way, I'm very thankful that my surgery went well, and it is a weird, humbling experience to be given the gift of an organ, even as small as a cornea, and it's something that it's hard to describe, frankly.
Yeah.
So
I'm thankful for opportunity to be out in Cambodia and doing the work that I've kind of always wanted to do. So it's and I realize it's in part at the expense of everyone left at home. So I'm thankful for everyone allowing me to do this. Yeah,
where your newlywed husband kind of shrugged and said, "Yeah, all right, I'll see you in a year." That's a good way to start a marriage.
I'll come visit.
Yeah, well, I'll see you. Yeah, one of these days. All right, cool. And Emmy, of course, is obviously thankful to be co-hosting the Postcall Podcast, where we're going to talk about Thanksgiving. We have an episode coming up in December where we're going to talk about spending the holidays in the hospital because Hanukkah and Christmas align this year. I believe the first day of Hanukkah is December 23rd. Patients don't want to be in the hospital for Christmas, Hanukkah. Physicians, but it's a low key, and I hate that term, but it is a low key, festive and happy, warm place to be if you're around the right people. So we're gonna coming up later give you a guide to that. That's maybe second or third week of December. But for right now, we're gonna talk about Thanksgiving, which means getting fat, spending money, and being thankful. We're going to start with the emotional one, which is being thankful. So this is an article from Medscape. Sharing stories connects clinicians to each other and to patients, which makes sense because nothing is more empathetic, in my opinion, and sympathetic than connecting with another person by telling them an anecdote and just kind of opening up.
Yeah, it comes from a palliative care physician from University of Colorado, and she was trying to, start a sharing group among med students, and she's like, it was like pulling teeth. But so the way she kind of got around it is to bring in kind of expert level clinicians and to showcase one of their stories and have them be vulnerable and kind of tie it to a poem or something. So it's really nice. I think she brings out the value of modeling in getting students and trainees to open up and to see that it's okay to share feelings. It's okay to be vulnerable. And they had some really good results from the group.
Yeah, and I think that anytime that you can use, and I obviously use sports a lot, and that's because I think that sports and military and medicine, the lifestyle of what it takes, that kind of commitment, are very similar. So I think it's a good way to talk about it. But if it's sports or art or any sort of experience beyond your professional life to explain what you're doing, it just makes you feel more human. And I'm going to pull some quotes here from Dr. Colleen Farrell. Dr. Farrell, she started the Medical Humanities Chat, which is a Twitter account that does Twitter chats. And if you've never done a Twitter chat, the main account will ask a question and then you just respond to it, and people will just kind of have a conversation. Medical Humanities Chat gives you a piece of art. Most often it's a poem, sometimes it's a short essay, sometimes it's a painting or a picture. And people just talk about it. It always goes with healthcare and humanity. And Dr. Farrell, who was quoted in this article, also, FYI, Emmy was a former guest on the Postcall Podcast. She's a resident physician at Bellevue, which pretty much all of us have heard of. She says that she's had a surgeon, on-call participate, and med students in public transit in New Jersey. All these people all over the place can share these stories. And it's just a place where discussion can happen and you feel more human. And I think that that's the most important part, that you are processing the emotional and psychological aspects of your career together through sharing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. And it kind of shows that even if, you're in a smaller group or your institution doesn't have this group, you can always join these types of things remotely. And kind of connect with people that way.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. It's one of the really beautiful parts of the internet, right? Everything is as good as it is bad. Well, the internet can be so beautiful in that it can connect people who were otherwise isolated. I find online dating extremely romantic, especially for people, man, I hate that, especially for people in remote areas who, maybe wouldn't have had someone to talk to otherwise. I think that is such a good part of this, where if you just get your phone out and don't want to scroll through social media, but actively want to participate, that's a possibility. And I also say this, I know that I produce a podcast and it's a competitive space and we're a for-profit company. I always encourage people, if you want to put in the work to start a podcast and maybe social media or Twitter or Instagram isn't your medium, if you want to do it, you should do it. Just get on a syndicator like Libsyn or Blueberry or whoever. Spend the $15 a month. Buy yourself the one that Dr. Okamoto uses is about $200. You can get one and just open up the mic and spill your guts, and maybe it'll make you feel better. So I always encourage people to do that as well. And I think that this is a good way to feel thankful that everyone else feels the way you do, and that you're not alone, and that you can go forward together.
Yeah, totally agree.
All right, so let's dry our eyes and get over this crap, and let's start talking about something funny, which is this workout that I found, and this is on PubMed. This is published literature.
Yeah, it was great. It was a group, I'm pretty sure, a group of orthopods. I don't know if they were residents.
I think they were residents. I saw it because I found it on Reddit. I'm like, get out of here. This is what happened. All right, not to cut you off, but I'll cut you off. On Reddit, I saw this post that said, this is a 24-hour workout for on-call orthopedic residents. And I was like, oh my God, they're doing CrossFit in a hospital. That's what's happening. But what I found was much better. Go on.
Yeah, it's an actual journal article. Where was it published?
I'm looking at it right now. Hold on.
HSSJ.
I don't know what that is.
Yeah, but what it is it says, hey, guys, we know that working out is beneficial in moving your body, and it's probably not great to be 24 hours on call, which we are all the time, and never moving. So they're like, you know what? We're going to design a workout for you guys. So they take pictures of supplies in the hospital, like different IV fluid bags and stockings and a walker. And they say, okay, here are some exercises we designed for you. and just go through the exercises and say, in conclusion, we think that this will be helpful.
And honestly, like when I first saw the kettlebell swings with the fluid bags, I was like, first of all, the innovation, because when you can't work out, and I didn't have a lot of money, and I had a couple 5-pound dumbbells, like I can't go to a gym, but you got to work out. You got to find a way to work out. Like, I commend the innovation, and B, I commend the, we'll call it guts to take this seriously. And this is like one of those workouts that you would find on Instagram, except they're in scrubs and they're using bags. So I like it. And kudos.
And the person demonstrating has an impressive L sit on a walker. I will say that.
I agree, because they're doing dips on a walker, and like I'm not sure that's how that would go for me, to be honest with you.
Yeah,
I think that walker's
probably
going down.
Walker afterwards.
Yes,
yeah.
that's what I'm saying. So you can find this workout. I know we're making fun of it because it's kind of funny, but also if you're on call and you're like, wow, I can feel myself getting fat, especially on Thanksgiving when a bunch of nurses and MPs and colleagues bring a bunch of food for you to eat. This would be a good time to test that out if you're on 24-hour call or if you're just working. This is a legit workout. We know that the data is going to start coming in. Sitting is the new smoking and all that. Don't knock it till you try it. If I were capable of doing dips on a walker while I was working, I would certainly consider it.
Yeah, I give them credit. They're opening up a space to publish.
100%. And I found out the journal. It is the Musculoskeletal Journal for Hospital and Special Surgery, published by Springer.
Great.
And you know what? And honestly, these are residents and they got published. So another shout out to them. That's legit.
Good.
I respect that.
Yeah.
So we're going to go on and we're going to go the other side of getting fat, and that is not getting fat. And this is, again, from Medscape. And this is how just weighing in every day or every week can impact your ability to maybe not let yourself go toward the end of the year when there's pumpkin spice lattes and turkey and pumpkin pie and pumpkin rolls and a bunch of other pumpkin stuff.
Yeah. This study was surprising to me, and I like the design, because a lot of diet studies, it's like, well, they got counseling and da. This one is like, we just said, weigh in daily or don't. So it's not like a huge intervention that you do or don't have. But it showed that the people who weighed in every day, particularly around this holiday season, prevented weight gain, whereas those who didn't, did you see how much weight they gained?
I was like double digits almost, right?
2.65 kilograms, which is about 6 pounds, 6 pounds.
Which
is a lot.
That is a lot. Like, you let yourself go, and I you know what? It makes sense though, because that's what happens to me. Is I don't know what your experience has been. I'm like, all right, screw it, I'm gonna have a good time. But if all I would do, and I'd have to make an effort to work out, like, man, maybe only one glass of wine tonight, or maybe I don't have the extra slice of pie.
Yeah. And what they showed, which I thought was very interesting, was in the follow-up that 95% of men were able to control that weight gain. And women retained approximately 77% of the holiday weight gain. So men can kind of just like shed it off, change their lifestyle, but women have a lot harder time in losing that weight.
I've thought a lot about that, and because I don't know if I've observed that, but I did notice, like, similarly, like, I have a significant other, and if like losing 4 pounds for her is so much more difficult than losing 4 pounds for me, and I thought that I wonder if, like, looking into the percentage of your total body weight is part of that, because if I want to lose 5 pounds, I just change my diet for like 4 days and lose 5 pounds. Like, it comes and goes because I'm 215 pound, 6'1" male, but in order to lose the weight that you gain on, if those 6 pounds are closer to 5% of your body weight, then it's a much different story. So that is an interesting thing, and that can set you back months.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, I think that's part of it, but I think there is also something biological that you could probably lose 10 pounds maybe easier than she could lose 5, based on what I'm hearing.
Yeah. And I want to say that makes sense, but I have no idea. I feel like that is something that we're starting to stumble upon, like metabolism, genetics, the differences between the sexes. I'm out of my element with that. I have no idea, but that is an interesting finding. And like, I like that because it can kind of lead itself to later research about that exact topic. But what an interesting design in terms of, it's real simple.
Just get on the scale once a day. Everyone can do it. Just buy a scale.
Exactly. Yep. And you don't have to even feel judged. Just kind of take your data. Maybe this can lead us up to just weigh yourself every single day. I don't know. Maybe that's unhealthy. Yeah. I don't know. All right. So that's a way to stay in shape. Get a walker and weigh yourself every day, and you'll be doing just fine. Is that what I understand?
The walker for doing your dips on the walker?
Dips on the walker. Not Johnny Walker, just a regular hospital walker. Okay, so now after Thanksgiving, it's Black Friday, then you got Cyber Monday because Christmas is coming, and you owe the United States of America economy to be a savage capitalist and buy some stuff so that everybody makes their money. You know that's called Black Friday for that reason.
Wait, because savage? Huh?
No. It's that's good. I like that. I like that. Black Friday is called Black Friday because every retailer traditionally was losing money throughout the year. They were in the red. And then on Black Friday, they sold so much stuff that it got them in the black.
Got it. Yeah, you had to break it down like that. Thanks.
No problem. So we want to talk about Black Friday or Cyber Monday gifts for doctors. The best gifts for doctors. And Emmy, you are the arbiter of this because I'm not a doctor, but I want to know how accurate this stuff actually is. And this comes to us from not a medical source. This is from New York Magazine, like the one in Barnes & Noble.
Yeah. It's interesting. I am not the greatest judge for gifts because I try and have less things. So some of these things like the Midori brass ballpoint pen is $32 for a pen, which I mean, in my mind, I would just lose that.
Yeah, no, 100%. So, I would too.
But I think they do have a anesthesiologist who kind of talks about how nice it is to have a nice quality pen. I think it's brass with maybe some polished gold finish. So yeah, if you have someone who needs a nice pen to write a few things, yeah. But I did agree with some of these like headphones. I can always use headphones. They have some creams. They have the Soju Rushi water bottle.
Yeah, I was going to bring that one up actually. I find that practical stuff is good. Yeah, what did you think about this one?
Yeah, you want something that doesn't spill. If it doesn't spill, great. And I think that's one that doesn't spill.
What do you make of these artistic stuff? You get the skeleton or like different parts of anatomy printed over like very artistic, maybe over a page of a textbook. I see these on Etsy, and I can never tell because I don't know what people's tastes are. Are these tacky or are these pretty sweet?
Yeah, it depends on your taste. I like them. It's just something different. It's printed over newsprint, and they're only like $8. I guess the bigger one's $20 something. But yeah, it's nice. It's kind of the skeleton, and then they add to it with flowers and things. And I think that's always nice to not just have like your degrees or your awards on the wall, but also something else, and this is a way bridging art and medicine, which is nice.
Yeah, I like that. I feel, I mean, I can't put myself in your shoes, but I feel like you do all this work and here you are, you've got this practice, or you're a clinician, like express yourself. We just talked about sharing yourself through art and humanities. I am completely on board with that. That's a great idea. I don't know how into like I know that you recommended some Buddhist podcasts to me. I listened to a couple episodes of those, and you seem to be very centered. So tell me about what a pedal diffuser is. Do you know what that is?
A pedal diffuser?
This is a doTERRA pedal diffuser. Someone who wants to decompress at the clinic will appreciate a soothing essential oil set and a diffuser. Do you know what a diffuser is? I have no idea what that is.
Oh. I had no idea what you were saying. This is a type of diffuser I see on this list. I don't know. I think it sprays essential oils. Which
so this is like a candle?
Maybe. Yes, but it diffuses.
Oh, well, I'll just get you a candle. How's that work?
Yeah, but then candles have all those like the burning qualities, which aren't as good.
I never thought about that. What about subscriptions to magazines? Those are pretty good gifts. Here's the question that I have, because you're a doctor and I'm not. How much of this is specific to being a healthcare professional, and how much of it is just good shit. Like I would love the Bose wireless headphones myself.
Oh yeah. I think it is pretty specific to say like these are like we can't enjoy a lot of things that maybe normal people can enjoy because we don't have a ton of time. But what we can enjoy is ways that, we'll incorporate into our lifestyle or, other timely things to decompress. So I liked it. I thought they did a good job. But I think I agree. Everyone will like these lists, but it kind of like was further streamlined towards physicians.
Takes into account the practicality of your life. Yeah, absolutely. Which I think is obviously really important. Maybe I gotta get you something for Christmas. You got me.
I don't need any of this stuff.
I will get you all of this stuff, and we'll put it on the company card. How about that?
Yeah. No, I
we're not
don't
gonna
need
do
any
that.
of this stuff.
I don't think that web.
I have a pen.
Oh, you have a pen? Good.
Yeah. I have several of them. Yeah, they cost $1 each.
Just $1. I like that.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I was just thinking about this the other day. I mean, I haven't written anything down in a long time. Like I don't have a reason to,
Yeah. Well, you should stop and you should write like a postcard to someone, Nick.
I should do that. I have the fortunate opportunity to travel for medical meetings, and I should send my parents or grandmother a postcard. I should do that for sure. Okay, last thing.
Have you ever written holiday cards?
Oh yeah, no, I do that all the time, and I write handwritten thank you notes. And I actually in college, I just wrote letters to some of my friends, like, hey, like I read, because I was really into, when you're in college and you think you're really smart, and then you get in the real world and you realize you're not. I was reading War and Peace, and they wrote letters to say, screw it, I'll write letters to some of my friends. So I wrote one to my friend from home. Her name is Callie. I wrote to my friend Nate. I just wrote like, hey, here's a letter. Here's what's going on. Like texting is boring. Read this letter. And it went on for like a while. It was fun.
Good. Yeah. Pick the pen back up. Find some nice stationery.
You know what?
And I love Christmas cards. Yes.
Me too.
Now's the time to start writing because it takes a while to write.
How much should I pay for a photographer? Should I just like get on Meetup and ask one of these Instagram people like, hey, would you mind like taking some Christmas card photos for me?
I've never sent a Christmas card with like a photo on it.
Just writing.
But that's a thing. I think that's more a thing if you have babies or animals and you do have an animal.
That's true. Isabella, she's around here somewhere. I don't think that she'd be super photogenic, but we can make her. It's part of being
you could put her in a reindeer.
Oh, you know what? Now that I think about it, that I think that's going to happen.
Oh gosh,
she'll hate it, and that'll be great.
I want one of these cards, by the way. Yeah, I don't need a gift, but I'll get a card.
All right, we'll call that your gift. Okay, last thing for anybody who is working, let's go through. Medscape has given us 20 useful codes, ICD-10 codes that you may see in the coming months. Did you go through this slideshow?
Yes.
Accurate?
Oh my gosh. They were, there's always some hilarious ones that you like just pass by when you type in the wrong search keywords, but these were very holiday specific.
I love it.
W60, contact with sharp leaves. If your patients are collecting autumn leaves and come away injured, it covers non-venomous plant thorns and spines. So whatever lurks in the shrubbery should be covered.
What about Y93D? Activities involving arts and crafts, hot glue gun, utility knives, and yes, pine cones.
Yes, I love that one. They specify for D1, knitting and crocheting, D2, sewing, D3, furniture building and finishing, and D4, all else. And I feel like one day in my life will walk away with one of those.
Yes, I hope that it's worth it. I hope that you get a great craft out of it.
Yes.
That's what I want. That's what they want for you. Sacrifice yourself for the good of the team.
Yeah. And then they have pecked by a turkey where you further, and this is the worst. Whenever like you have like, I see it all the time with lacerations, you have to pick, is it initial encounter, subsequent encounter, or sequelae? Because with ICD-10, you need to be very specific. So pecked by a turkey is not just enough to say the person was pecked. You have to say, is this their initial, subsequent, or sequelae?
That's, and it's really that kind of detail that makes your job worth it.
Mm-hmm.
Why Y93.6 is, I have been a Y93.6 on Thanksgiving. Don't worry about it. Because on Thanksgiving, one plays football in the backyard. And you think, play some tackle football with the uncles. Nope. Y93.6 is sports or athletic injury.
Yeah. What was yours from Thanksgiving?
Not a broken ankle, I'll tell you that. It was actually a severely sprained ankle. After waiting in the emergency room for a while to get an X-ray, and they said, "How was it?" I said, "Well, we won. How does it look?"
Yeah.
Got tackled pretty hard.
Yeah.
I can't believe this one exists because this is such a cliche. This is such a Hallmark movie. This is the Hallmark original movie, Z63.1.
Problem relationship with the in-laws.
The in-laws. That's a real code that exists.
Yeah. I can You have to be careful sometimes when coding these things because who knows? Maybe like Bill shows up with the insurance company and your wife opens it up and it's like, oh my gosh. Is this what landed you with this big hospital bill?
Oh, great. Yeah, that's bad. W52, I think, was probably invented for things like tsunamis or earthquakes, but it's really relevant to Black Friday, Emmy. Crushed, pushed, or stepped on by a crowd of human stampede.
Yeah, human stampedes are a thing. Yeah, and they do kill people.
Yeah, no, that is a real thing. That's not a joke.
Yeah, in Cambodia, we had a holiday last week, and 2010, 300 people died in a human stampede.
What?
Stampede.
300?
Yeah, on a bridge. It's just like chaos in sights for they don't know what the reason was, and just a human stampede occurred. It's just what happens when too many people in chaos. So, yes.
Wow, that's wild.
Black Friday is a potentially dangerous event.
Yeah, that makes me sick. 300 people, but they didn't know what it was about.
Yeah, it's an absurd amount. Yep.
That's crazy. Yeah. So, like, I guess, well, it's a mob mentality of like, I'm freaked out, you're freaked out, we're all freaked out. Let's run. And oh man, that's you just sobered me up. That was rough.
Yeah. Sorry to drop that one, but you brought up Stampede, and
that's true. That's a good point. If Googling death in Cambodia will get you down a dark hole, don't do that on Thanksgiving. Do that on a different day.
Yes.
When I learned about the Cambodian. Anyway, we'll talk about that another time.
Yes. Yeah.
W009, fall due to ice and snow. This one is actually more dangerous than it seems. Also, a lot more people get seriously injured falling on ice than I ever thought.
Yeah. Yeah. Careful walking your dogs and whatnot, particularly.
W29, contact with a power hand tool or household machinery. If you're using a leaf blower.
Yep.
Whoa! I can't believe I didn't know that they were this specific. I mean, this is when I get to go peel the curtain back on your actual life, I didn't know that they were this specific. This is wild to me. Passenger of special agricultural vehicle.
Coding for diabetes. Oh my gosh, Nick! It's not only type 1 or type 2. You then have to say, do they have an eye disorder, and then you have to specify: is it retinal? Is it macular? Is it chronic? Oh my gosh. The name of the game is to just find the simplest code that is somewhat specific and just use it over and over.
Yeah. I now understand physician burnout. I get it now.
Yeah.
I feel I'm woke. I'm woke now. What are you kidding?
If you can't just say like hurt, you have to say hurt by a sharp leaf. Yeah. This
is a passenger of special agricultural vehicle. Like, what defines a special because if you want it bad enough, a Subaru Outback is a special agricultural vehicle.
Yeah.
Non-traffic accident. So that means you fell off the tractor. That's what this is saying.
Yeah. Or, yeah. Could be.
Bro. And they
show a picture of a hayride on this one.
It actually looks really quaint and fun. Like, I dream of Wisconsin in that picture. It looks like Wisconsin. I don't know if that's true.
Yeah. Fall.
This one is not necessarily relevant to Thanksgiving, but relevant to being a medical professional. It's sleep deprivation.
Yeah. You can all year round. You can have that
all year round, especially as we learned today, or I guess last week. We learned last week that most people are losing sleep because they're binge watching TV shows.
Yeah. Netflix is detrimental to our health.
I'm not sure that's true. I think it's worth it. Well, Emmy, thanks for joining me on this preparatory Thanksgiving episode. For everybody that's working or doing whatever on Thanksgiving, we hope you enjoyed hanging out with us. And I know that I am thankful for having you as my co-host, even if you wouldn't admit it to me.
No, I'm thankful to be here, and
Okay.
thank you for all the listeners out there. I hope everyone has a wonderful holiday with family and friends, or even if you can't be with them
Yeah, of course.
remotely, that counts too.
Oh yeah, one thing I wanted to mention is if you're missing football, all of the CBS, Fox, and NBC have apps that have free trials. You can totally watch it on your phone in the call room if you have to work. And this episode has a bunch of show notes and links and things that'll make you LOL, including that super sweet workout. Definitely out here for the people who can't be with their friends and family and are just trying to hold down the fort for their patience, and I'm thankful for all of you in case, I get myself into a special agricultural vehicle accident. I'm glad to have you at the hospital when I get there.
Mm-hmm.
Coming up in December, we're going to have a How to Survive the Holidays and a very similar episode for Christmas and Hanukkah. Emmy, happy Thanksgiving, even if you're not celebrating it in Cambodia. I hope you're staying less sweaty and that your cats are well fed, and then you can all go around and meow at each other for what you're thankful for.
Yes, we will. Thank you, Nick.
I know that's not true.
You as well.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Birds are chirping. I hear there are bugs. There's a lot of life happening over there. So thanks for hanging out, and happy Thanksgiving to you.
Yes, likewise.